On what's brewing today, Spacetech startup GalaxEye has raised its $10 million Series A round led by Mount Tech growth fund Kavach. The company raised the first tranche of the Series A funding amounting to $6.5 million in August this year. Mela Ventures, Speciale Invest, IdeaForge, Rainmatter, Navam Capital, Fard Capital and Anicut Capital also participated in the current round. Founded in 2020, the firm specializes in providing precise data sets from space and aerial platforms via their advanced multi-sensor payload. Joining me now to elaborate on their fund allocation plan is Suyash Singh, the co-founder and CEO of GalaxEye. Suyash, it's great to have you back on the show. You know, the last time we spoke, you just inked a deal with InSpace. But, you know, today you've raised this $10 million. If you could sort of take us through how you plan to deploy these funds at this point.
First of all, thanks for having me again on the show. Yeah, of course, we're very happy with the fundraise that has happened very recently. The idea is to really put together the first satellite and, have a very successful launch. This will be the first, the largest satellite built privately in India. And it will host some unique sensors, which we are very excited about. So largely, it's going to be deployment in space.
So largely in deployment in space. So this latest tranche of investments essentially is going to accelerate the development of your upcoming satellite mission, which essentially aims to deliver high-resolution, all-weather, multi-sensor data next year in 2025, right? If you could elaborate on what this entails for, in layman terms for people to understand better, and what could the applications of this be?
Right. No, I think, the most simplest way to understand that is, space applications are divided into three parts: communications, navigations, and imaging, right? While communication navigation is something which is very commoditized and you use it on a daily basis, imaging is something that is still not as yet there. So GalaxEye is trying to solve that problem very uniquely by combining two different sensors and bringing them together so that you have unperturbed all-weather, all-time imaging in place, which will lead to, solving for commercial monitoring, defense and strategic monitoring, national security monitoring, etc. Right?
Right.
In the recent past, we have seen Ukraine-Russia war, multiple other geopolitical events, which leads to really, having more knowledge about a particular incident. So it starts defense, also goes up to commercial, such as agriculture, which is we are one of the biggest agriculture economies. We need digital public infrastructure, DPIs for that matter, and satellite imaging could be a great source.
Right, absolutely. So, from what I can understand, the technology is going to play a crucial role in a variety of sectors and segments, ranging from defense, surveillance to agriculture, maritime and insurance, right? So if you could sort of give us a sense of the kind of clients that you're going to work with, who this will be useful for, and the kind of efficiency you're hoping to bring in with this real-time data.
So again, like I said, it's going to be ranging from defense and agriculture. So it will be civilian ministries, it will be, defense ministries on the government side of the story. But at the same time, there will be corporates, right, who are into supply chain, for example, right? They need to source a particular things. They need to source grains. They need to source fish, shrimps, etc. So how do they, get a better sense of or, supply intelligence from the ground? So it'll be corporates, largely B2B. It will be governments on the civilian side as well as defense side of the story. And they have, been using this. They have been trying to utilize satellite imageries for a while now. It's been around 10 to 12 years already. Right. What we put on the table is, is an unperturbed imaging, all weather, all time imaging, which makes them to use this more efficiently, right? So instead of waiting for during the monsoons, instead of flying for drones, you can still use satellite imagery to your advantage.
Correct, right. So if you could sort of then tell us, what's your revenue model going to be like? Are you currently making any money, and what are the targets for this year?
So we're definitely, generating some revenue, although, our meaningful revenues are going to happen once the satellite is in the orbit. And then going back to your first question as well, right? This is going to be a data as a service model. So for example, you need to monitor your farmland of 10 square kilometers, right? So I will give you 10 square kilometers for an X amount of price.
Right, understood. And, if you could quickly answer this question, the Union Cabinet recently approved a 1,000 crore rupee venture capital fund to support firms in the space tech domain, right? So where do you think this money needs to go? Any specific focus areas that would, be beneficial from this venture fund?
I think it's an early stage to growth stage fund, that's being evangelized. It
Right.
should, in my opinion, it should go from upstream to downstream of the technologies, should not be restricted towards one side of the story. But, apart from that 1,000 crore venture capital fund, there's many more other opportunities, right? For example, Cabinet cleared the launch of 52 satellites. There are multiple PPP programs that are done by InSpace and Encel. So I think there's a gamut of opportunities where private investors can also come in and join Spacetech as a journey.
Quite a bit of impetus being put there for India's space tech startups. But Suyash, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street.
Always, Shad. Thank you so much.
All right, with that